The AEW World title has had very few holders, but one person that cannot hold it in kayfabe for AEW is Cody Rhodes. But what if he could? Today I look at how Cody get that prestigious gold belt around his waist the way I would do it. And don't forget, guys, if you have anything you want me to fantasy book, put that down in the comments down below. We'll get straight into this. It's a long one because it is just shy of 3k words, the script I've got and the plan, so it's a fair amount, so let's get right into it. So we'll start with Hangman Punch's current world champion. So we're keeping some of the real world stuff in play, and this will be taking place in the very near future. One that you guys will very quickly realize the time frame for. So Page has defeated Danielson, which he did in real life. He then went on to defeat CM Punk and Adam Cole. I'm not sure which order, but he's defeated those three as the big three names. So he's been champion for about 6 months, and each feud went kind of like 2 months. So he had some short feuds that kind of built up to one movie match and a few TV matches. And during that time, Cody has been getting booed by the fans, and he's been acting as a total babyface throughout it. And, well, that's kind of simple. He even did a promo saying that he is going to stick as a face because the fans cheered him when he was at his lowest. Which is, I guess, fair, but he should really turn heel in real life, and that's probably the way we're going for this. Now, this time, Page has been champion for a decent amount of time, has enjoyed the time that he's had there. He's been the main event, he's been pushed well. And he's still with the Dark Order, so he hasn't left them gone singles. He's stayed with the Dark Order. He's beloved by the fans, and the complete opposite there is Cody. Cody's been booed by the fans. He's actually stopped coming out with the Normal family. There's been no Brandy, no Dustin, no Arn. He's been all alone. He's kind of been pushing everyone away from him to kind of focus on himself. And this is now leaning towards that heel turn because he kind of needs to be heel to fight for the title because of the fact they can't fight for it. Now, there are numerous ways this can be done, but this is my fantasy. The way I'm going to do it is kind of, I don't know, a way to turn Cody heel, defeat Hangman, and then kind of push Cody a bit. So Hangman's defeated Danielson, Punk, and Cole, and his next opponent will be Miro. They will build to a match at an AEW TV special. You can name it something cool. I have no idea. But that main event will see Page with Douglas staying backstage, take on Miro, who has CJ Perry, aka Lana, at ringside. This is because I want to see Lana in AEW. I think the Lana Miro thing will be really cool dynamic to have in AEW. Miro dominates the early part of the match, but gets distracted due to the enjoyment of his game by being the crap out of Hangman. So he's not going for the cover as much. He's kind of just enjoying this domination he's having in the match. This allows Hangman to take advantage and starts to make a comeback before Miro gets back into control. Following a game over, which Page manages to make the rope, Miro steps up to the referee, nearly not picking up the win, allowing Perry to attack Page, leading to commentary wondering where the Dark Order is. So we're trying to set up that Hangman wants to go alone, but the Dark Order can't follow his wishes. So Hangman starts to get up on the big screen and appears Dark Order laid out by the Pinnacle backstage. This gets Hangman angry and he starts to unleash the anger on Miro, leading to the ref trying to calm him down, bring out Cody in one of those suits. This is kind of to get Cody starting to get pushed into that main event, which I understand people going to boo at, but that's what we want. We want him to turn heel, so we want people booing him. So Heyman kind of takes a breath as Cody's coming down from the apron. And he gives Cody a hug, kind of thanking him for helping him get through this. Goes back to Miro. Cody drops down. Perry then heads around to him. She gets in his face. Miro chucks Page into the ring post. Seeing Cody and Perry, he heads over to him. Cody attempts to back away from Miro, but he manages to lay out Cody. And this kind of gives the distraction that Hangman needs to hit the lariat and win. So Page heads to the back to help his friends, and Cody is left alone. So Page doesn't go to help Cody. Cody decides, well, not Cody decides, Page decides that Dark Order is his friends and he wants to go help them. And Cody's in help to the back by other people. Dark Order and Page then go into a feud with the Pinnacle, so this can build to a Page MJF match being touted as the main event. And you can have some multi-man matches to build up to this 1v1, but this 1v1 is the big point. And then during this time, Cody will continue picking up wins on Dark and move more towards backstage personnel role. So he's kind of turning towards the Triple H kind of role, where he's more backstage with occasional match. During this time, Brock Evans and Lee Johnson will be teaming with Arn in their corner, and they are billed as Nightmare Family. So Nightmare Family is still a thing, but it's not as prominent in Cody's gimmick and career as it used to be. With Dark Order battered and bruised after green match, out comes Cody. Comes out with some doctors to check on Dark Order. During this time, Cody's looking at the gold, almost admiring it, kind of wishing he wants to hold onto it longer. Dark Order then kind of push away the doctors, not wanting to help, and goes celebrating fans, and Cody heads back with the doctors in tow. So as I said earlier, Cody's taking much more backstage role in AEW. Fans have kind of started comparing him more with Triple H and NXT in the role that he had there. And it's starting to drive Cody a bit crazy because the character doesn't like these comparisons to Triple H. And he's kind of just doing this because it's in his head best for the company. Triple H line that. He's been doing the occasional commentary drop as well in Dark, and he's been questioning about fans' thoughts on his role in AEW. All the times trying to paint himself as the good guy, and we're now 2 weeks after All Out. No one is up to Hangman following that Pinnacle match and the win over MJF. Cody then comes out on the 3rd episode after All Out. He wants Hangman to come out as there's an announcement for him in his championship. Cody has a 6-man elimination match that will take place in 3 weeks' time. The first entrant is John Moxley. Moxley hits the ring and attacks Hangman. Takes some time before Cody helps Hangman. So there's kind of that bit of Cody that doesn't want to help Hangman, as Hangman kind of didn't help him after Miro attacked him last month. Oh, it would have been 2 months ago now. Can't look at that week, that's what I'm calling it. Sorry about trying to look at the camera and look at my script at the same time. It's kind of difficult. So he ends up helping Hangman, holding Moxley back, sending him to the back. Cody goes over and grabs the gold, looks at it for a bit, kind of thinks, and then hands it back over to Paige. This is trying to sow those seeds that Cody's starting to think that he should be champ or he wants a shot. Then we have promos by both Hangman and Moxley. Cody's interviewed by Marvez. So I asked Jace about the interviewers that AEW have. Marvez is one of them. So I was like, okay, we'll go up Marvez. Questions him about the 6-man match in 3 weeks and about his stance in the world title picture. Him on top in this band from, I think it's like, Marvez is kind of like, I don't know, like kind of talking about the fans before, kind of like, well, it would be kind of cool seeing a Cody Hangman match, but it won't be for the title. So it's like, do you want that? And Cody then says, yeah, look, the 6-man match will have 2 more compares announced next week, and I will do that. Walks away. Next week, Silver takes on Moxley. Moxley picks up the win. Later in the show, Cody announces now 2 compares, them being Johnny Elite, which is John Morrison, and Keith Lee. These are both 2 new signings, both being put straight into the World Title picture. I know with the Osprey video that I had a comment. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. And it was like, he was saying that he's cautious of debuting them right in the main event. I think this isn't as main event heavy as the Osprey debut was, as they're just in a potential World Title match. But I also thought I don't want to just use 6 competitors from AEW at the moment. I kind of want to use some new guys I would love to see in AEW. They're both given video package for the show, but no sign of Cody on the show. So I actually lied earlier, so I'll announce them. Whoops. Then we have the go-home show for the big 6-way. Cody comes out in ring gear saying that anyone from the back come out and face him for a shot in the match next week. Out comes Lethal, who's not that much since being in AEW, I think. I don't watch the product, but I haven't seen much like YouTube clips of him on the channel. The 2 have a match which positions Lethal as a babyface. Cody plays the heel while wanting to be adored by the fans, so is that delusional heel? In the end, Cody wins cleanish. Lethal was distracted by Black, giving Cody enough time to hit the Cody color, which I've been informed by Jason is a move. As I say, I don't watch the product. Black then disappears thanks to the lights, and Cody celebrates thinking he has won the match clean. He announces that next week the match will contain MJF and Adam Cole, with the final member of the match to be a surprise entrant. this is building. So we got MJF, Cole, Moxley, Elite, and Lee. So that's like a big match with one more entrant. I was kind of like, this is probably part of my mind in TW bookings. Like, this match will do well in TW, and I think it'll do well in real life. And the fact that it's elimination is a bit iffy. I understand like people don't like having everyone get pinned. I enjoy it because I think it can give you credence to start more feuds out, where maybe Cole gets pinned by Lee and then superkicks Lee and Lee gets pinned because of that. So I think the elimination can help splinter these 6 men into another 2 feuds. So you'll have probably 2 single feuds coming out of this as well as a world title. So you'll leave like one person not in a feud, but you're able to kind of position them towards another feud or give them some time off maybe. Next show is built around the 6-man match. Promos from all 5 competitors and Hangman during the first 3 minutes to an hour of the show. Matches get breaking them up in between. So this show is built around that main event. These matches can be women's matches to try to get them some more exposure, as people will still be tuned in for those promos consistently, and the fact that the match is main event slot. So hopefully give those women some time on a show that the AEW haven't really done as well. Before the match, we have Dark Order and Hangman being shown in the crowd with the fans. So we're having fans in attendance because they should be in attendance by this point. They're just kind of watching the match, getting ready. Cody also joins the commentary team to further his connection to the story in the match that follows. So out comes Moxley, Wardlow. That's a miss thing. Whoops. So out comes Moxley, Cole, Elite, Lee, and MJF. There's been subtle turns that Wardlow's turning on MJF, as Wardlow does come out with MJF. And we're kind of entering the separation part in this world of them. So we'll see how that goes in the latest up, but it won't be the biggest focus of this video. For the final entry, when the lights go out, out comes Jungle Boy returning from injuries at the hands of Christian Cage, which happened earlier on. Cage turned on Jungle Express and resulted in Jungle Boy being injured. The match goes a few minutes before near 4. MJF is nearly eliminated by Jungle Boy, which is broken by Wardlow. 2 of them go after Jungle Boy, which gets help from Lee. 2 sides go face to face before Moxley Johnny get in the ring. Their position as groups of 2. Cole's kind of just on the outside, I'll be honest. Kind of typed Wardlow in this match as I was building it, so this is a bit of a problem because I've nothing for Cole. The position is groups of 2 as MJF rolls out of the ring and everyone else attacks Wardlow. But this also allows Cole to get around and attack MJF outside the ring. Of course, Wardlow is down on 1 knee, but gets up to go on a roll before numbers do get better of him. And he is, quote-unquote, eliminated, so he's basically taken out. MJF is trying to get away from Cole, but ends up, heads back into the ring, and he gets attacked by Lee, Moxley, Elite, and Jungle Boy. He gets basically hit by them, and he manages to roll out. This leaves Lee, Moxley, Elite, and Jungle Boy flying out. They do this for another 10 minutes with Cole every now and then, kind of jumping in and stopping someone's momentum. So he's trying to not do as much in the ring, but trying to get around it. So MJF's trying to play the crowd. Cole starts going after him, and MJF is still trying to avoid the big fight in the middle. He sees an opportunity, rolls up, and gets Elite, limits them. This thing goes bad for him as Lee he gets up and takes him out, eliminating MJF, leaving 4, Lee, Moxley, Jungle Boy, and Cole. They go for war for 8 or so minutes until we're going to have Moxley eliminate Cole. This was planned to have Lee eliminate, but I'm going to have Moxley eliminate Cole. With a paradigm shift. So we're down to 3, with another few minutes before Moxley eliminates Lee. This leaves Mox and Jungle Boy. 2 of them fly out for a bit before Jungle Boy picks up the win, earning a shot against Hangman. Or at least he thought. Now we see the true turn of Cody, because now we got this big babyface in Jungle Boy about to go against the champion Hangman Page, but then we have the true heelish side of Cody coming out. He gets up from the commentary desk with a microphone, congratulates Jungle Boy on picking up the win. But he tells Jungle Boy that he has one more thing to do before facing Hangman Page for the world title. And that is to beat him. Cody enters the ring and the bell is rung. The match is under a minute with Cody hitting 2 moves, a drop kick and the Cody cover. He covers for the 1, 2, 3. Jungle Boy has been in the 6-man elimination match for probably just shy of 30 minutes, and now he's got a fresh Cody coming in. Cody's picked up the win. Picks up the mic and tells the audience that for too long he's given them what they thought they had wanted, and now it's time for him to do exactly what he wants to do, no matter what they think about it. Announcing that Double or Nothing 2022. I don't know if the time frame works, but it works in this. He will go one-on-one with Hangman Page for the world title because he wants the gold. Because AEW owe him that title shot because of all he's done backstage and all he's done to help build the company. Cody then refused to speak about his betrayal of the fans and of Jungle Boy, and said every time a question is asked about what he talks about, it's him defeating the Cowboy Champion. Cody refuses to wrestle Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, or any member of the Dark World leading up to Double or Nothing. Yet each week, Page is given yet another match to fight. First against Wardlow, then Lee, then Allen. He wants all these matches where they go at least 20 minutes for all of them. Against Wardlow anyone due to a roll-up. Matches against Lee and Allen went a bit longer and had Page winning cleaner than a simple roll-up. But it's taken so much toll on him in each match. You can kind of see Hangman's getting a bit more tired. He's not as quick as he was in the first match, or the second match. He goes on the streak of wins, but he is starting to struggle. Now, of course, I have no idea if the time of this is viable, like I said. But the idea of this, in some terms, is the underdog CEO type. So Triple H Bryan is a big inspiration. But time purposes, as we are getting through this, it is 16 minutes, and I am talking quite quick. So if you guys don't catch this, I'm sorry, but this is so it's not 40 minutes, instead it's maybe 25. So in the final 3 weeks prior to Double or Nothing, we have Cody's explanation. So he talks about Jungle Boy, the future, Hangman is his career. And all Cody believes that he made a mistake when he put his world title career on the line, especially when he has been the guy who has built this company. The guy who has put his heart and soul into it, only to get booed out of buildings because the fans see him as some sort of cerebral assassin. Now it's time to show him what him as the cerebral assassin truly looks like, announcing Cody vs. Jungle Boy for next week's Dynamite. On the following rampages we haven't talked much about, but it's just been going on steadily. It's building up probably a Elite MJF feud and maybe a Moxley Lee feud. Page talks about Cody saying that he's a good wrestler, but the Cowboy's not the same person he was when the two met all those years ago. Nor is he the same person as he was a few weeks ago when he saw his friend turn his back on the fans, turn his back on him. Now this is kind of interesting because something I didn't notice as I was writing this is it's kind of hypocritical by Page here, because he did leave Cody, but he went for other friends. And Cody, the difference between Page and Cody in this scenario is Page left Cody to go help his other friends. Cody left kind of Page's side for Cody. Dynamite is then main event by the Jungle Boy Cody match. Cody wrestles as this cocky bitch in simple terms. He berates Jungle Boys during the match, similar to the Roman matches in the Thunder, because I really enjoyed those where Roman would kind of just spell out during matches. And I think Cody can do that quite well in this, as I'm mixing like the Roman heel character, the Tribal Chief, with the Triple H CEO character, while trying to keep a bit of Cody in there. Which I'm probably not doing, but you can tell in the cards. Jungle Boy has very little moments in the match with him in control. Every now and then he still get on a roll, but Cody cheats to get back the advantage. He ends up being on the win with a Cody cutter. The Rampage has promos from both sides, some of the previous promos from Cody and Hangman, just trying to hype up the match. And we don't want these guys to get into anything physical, and we don't want them taking away a lot of time with more matches than what we can give to the women or for other male storylines. So we're now heading into the final Dynamite matchup, so we're heading into the kind of conclusion here. And it has no matches between Cody and Hangman, so it has other people kind of promo. So it doesn't include Cody or Hangman, which is the big key part about this. But it talks about who's going to win, and these people that are saying who's going to win is Kenny Omega, Nick Jackson, The Dark Order, Adam Cole, Dustin Rhodes, Punk, Danielson. And each talk about different points and predictions, with Omega, Bucks, Dark Order, and Punk all see Hangman winning. Yet Dustin and Danielson and Cole decide Cody's going to win. And it's kind of like the two big heels of Cole and Danielson there. Omega is still kind of a bit of a heel. He hasn't really come back yet. He's haven't planned on him to come back, so he's still kind of ill. He's gone with Hangman. So there's more people signing with Hangman. There are more kind of doubts, I guess, in Cody's mind that so many people aren't choosing him. Like Omega's choosing Hangman, so and the Bucks are choosing him. It's like, okay, maybe they weren't as close to me as I thought they were. And it's kind of Cody's pushing away those friendships he's made. But his family stayed with him. Dustin's gone with him, so we'll see how that plays into a bit. So this is the go-home angle for the match, with Rampage being his fellow matches on Double or Nothing. So we ended on Dynamite with maybe a video package on Rampage, but probably not, because we don't want to take too much time away from everything else. And there'll be so many stories for AEW that we don't want to just go every show for the final 3 weeks has this feed. So we headed into the match. Cody and Hangman main event. Like, very easy the main event, Double or Nothing. And the show was gone for just a bit over 2.5 hours, I think. Maybe a bit longer, but we don't want this to go close to 4. 3.5 is probably the maximum amount, including this match. So we'll see how we go. There'll probably be a Lee Moxley match, maybe a Elite MJF match. Probably 2-3 women's matches. I won't mind one on probably the buy-in until on the main card, a tag match. Hangman fights out with the two going for well over half an hour. Silver Reynolds will run down when Cody's about to use a chair with the ref down. So Cody's about to cheat to kind of win the title here, but the two fail to kind of grab the chair off Cody. But they do succeed in the fact that Cody can't use a chair on Paige because Paige has now got this opening and Paige starts taking control until Cody uses some sort of heel tactics, possibly a low blow to begin to dominate again. We begin, and then Cody dominates. There's a bit of back and forth, but then we head into the final act of the match with Cody competing by himself, and the Dark Order is now kind of like Round 7 is still out at ringside, and they're cheering for Hangman now. They're not like trying to get into the match now. They're at ringside cheering Hangman on, but this is kind of like Cody's by himself here, and this is kind of pain Cody is. He's kind of left everyone away now, and it's him versus the world in his head. Now Hangman goes for a buckshot but gets caught with a very well timed roll that sends Cody to the other side. He pulls him down for the Cody cutter. He taunts before Cole gets out for its hit. So Cody kind of, as the buckshot's happening, Cody kind of just rolls underneath Hangman, gets on the other side, gets him ready for the Cody cutter, and then he kind of just waits a bit too long and taunts. That's basically the idea with this, and that gives Paige time to get out of it and not get hit by it. This is very odd. This then will lead into a bit of a segment where Paige is going to probably take a swing. Cody will hit the Cody cutter anyway. Pins him, 1, 2, kick out. Cody can't believe it, and he decides that the way to end Hangman is with the buckshot. So he presses to hit the buckshot against Hangman, taunting the crowd again before hitting it. Before covering, he hits the cutter. So he's hit the buckshot, he gets Hangman up, and he hits the cutter. Now he covers for the 1, the 2, the 3. Ding, ding, ding. Your new AEW World Champion, Cody. Dark Order help Hangman up. Hangman rolls out. Dark Order come down, help Hangman up. Cody celebrates that, which actually brings out Brandy. And Brandy kind of runs down the ring and celebrates with Cody. And you can get Dustin in the crowd, I think. And Dustin's like, yeah. But Dustin also isn't outwardly happy about this. He's kind of seen his younger brother betray parts of himself. So this can start a Cody-Dustin feud just as a little start. But this is the beginning of Cody's reign, which I think can conclude to a bit of an AEW project in a sense. So Hawk can be a possible one, MJF winning the title, Darby. Someone younger that you can do a story similar to Hangman, but not the exact same story. Another one you could do a story for that is Cody not trying against him. He's overconfident and he ends up getting out wrestled by someone. He loses the title that way. Either way, Cody can have a decent long reign. I don't know if this would be the longest reign, in the coming for Cody, or it would be somewhat short. I think whoever Cody has, he has to put over the next champion. That next champion has to be a good long-term option. So the matches he can have against numerous other people. So people who picked Hangman's side, I guess, as well as Dustin. So I think Dustin's a good starting feud. Maybe Silver around. Let's have one member Dark Order. You can face Punk. You can face maybe a Buck. Keith Lee, I wouldn't mind seeing face Cody for the world title. Cole wouldn't be nice. Omega would be pretty good. But you're also having the secondary feud where you're building up the next contender. And not as like fleshed out as like he's winning every match he's in, he's winning every feud, but gives a few losses in the feud to the next champ. And well, I don't know who that is. You guys can tell me down in the comments, but that is Cody winning the AEW World Championship. If you have any ideas for me to fantasy book, tell me down in the comments down below. And come go check out some Brand Wolf, or check out the most recent video on the channel, which was a chat room episode with Bilal. We had to talk about Pokemon, so I know you're here for wrestling, but we talked about Pokemon, so you might want to go check that out. Thanks for watching. Look out.